Everybody want to know what's going on with Errol Spence. Is he okay? Is he in the hospital? Is he recovering? What's going on with Spence? Well, we finally hear from Errol Spence, and he just spoke out and let everybody know what's going on with him. We're going to talk about it in this video, but before we do that, make sure that you hit my like button and subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed to the channel. What's up with it, y'all? Now, we finally got the fight that we had been asking for and praying for the past 5 or 6 years. Errol Spence versus Terence "Bud" Crawford. But now, if you ask Bud, he say Crawford versus Spence. Well, on the next fight, when they do have a rematch, if they had a rematch, it will say Crawford versus Spence. It won't be Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford no more. You know what I'm saying? EJ, he got to go back and he got to take his shit back. He got to get his lick back and he got to take his shit back. You know, but that remains to be seen. We got to see how this all plays out. But EJ, he adamant and he want that smoke. Now, he said December. I don't think that EJ should get in the ring with Terence Crawford that soon. He needs to take more time to heal up, go in the gym, work on some things. This time, they actually need to sit down, him and Derrick James, and they need to study Terence Crawford. Because Terence Crawford and his whole team, they study everything that Errol Spence does. And they knew exactly what he was going to do. But EJ, you know, and Derrick James said that they didn't do that much film study on Terence Crawford. And we see that they need to do a lot of film study on Terence Crawford before they get back in the ring with him. But, like I said, EJ, he's in good spirits. He's alright. You know what I'm talking about? He's alright. People think that he gonna be down and out and Errol Spence gonna go and crash out and shit. Well, he not gonna do all of that. You know, he good. We seen Errol Spence, he gave Terence Crawford his props. You know, he hugged him, he shook his hand like a man, and when he got on the mic, he didn't make no excuses at all. He didn't say, you know, I wasn't feeling right today, I was sick, or I was weight drained. He didn't say nothing. Obviously, we seen that he wasn't the same fighter. And what I seen, not making no excuses, because Bud did his thing. You know what I'm saying? Just flat out, Bud has separated himself, and he showed that he is the better fighter. You know, now if anything changes in the rematch at 154, we have to see that. But for right now, we got to give Bud his props. But as for Errol Spence, his face did not look the same, right? His face didn't look the same as it did in the Ugas fight. If you go back and compare his facial structure, you can see all the bones in his face, and his face looked weight drained. I'm not talking about his body. You can see if a man is weight drained in his face, and you can see his bones and everything, you know. He just didn't look the same. And he definitely didn't look the same in the ring. And his confidence leading up to this fight, he didn't have the same confidence that he usually does against all these other fighters that he get in the ring with. You know, he was alluding to, well, if I lose, and well, if I win, and things like that. He wasn't adamant on saying, you know, oh, I ain't losing. I'm finna beat his ass, and when I win. On the other hand, Terence Crawford, he was showing the ultimate confidence. Everything was, when I become undisputed, when I win, when I beat his ass, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that. And it seemed like Errol Spence was the opposite. You know, he was giving a whole lot of credit to Terence Crawford, and he was leaving the door open that it was a possibility that he could lose to Bud. And I didn't like that, along with a lot of other things. But what I did love from Errol Spence after he took the loss, and you know, it was real ugly. It was real ugly. That shit got ugly in the ring for Errol Spence, like Precious and Seal came together and had a baby. It got real ugly. But Spence took this shit like a man with his head held up high. And now today, he came out and he got a message for everybody that want to know how he doing. And as y'all can see right here, he letting everybody know. My head up like a nosebleed. Yeah, I took an L, but my head is still held up high. You know what I'm saying? No, I'm not retiring like some of these clowns is out here trying to insinuate that I'm going to go off and I'm going to retire after this. I got brain damage and all that type of shit. I'm cool. I'm all right. I'm with my family. I'm cool, and I'm still holding my head up high. And you know, a lot of these weird ass men, They want to see Errol Spence's downfall. They want him to be laid up in the hospital bed. They want him to go on a drinking binge and just, you know what I'm saying, just crash all the way out because he lost to Terence Crawford. But he ain't doing that. You know what I'm talking about? He a real soldier. He will be back, and he will be a lot better. And then he comes back and he says, I was brought up in old law where men don't make excuses. Even if I had one, I wouldn't give it to you. Straight up and down, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and what I get from that is, yeah, I might have had some things going on with me, but I'm not gonna tell y'all. I'm not gonna give it to you so y'all can run off and say I'm making excuses, and I'm not gonna make an excuse for myself. It is what it is, you know what I'm talking about? I gave that man his props. I said the better man won, and I left it at that. That's how real men rock. You know what I'm saying? I'm bringing it back to real men. How real men rock when they lose. You take your L's just like you take your W's. On the chin, head up high, chest out. And you see, he put the shark emoji up there, letting you know that he's still the big fish. It ain't no crying. I'm actually laughing, you know? I know I'm going to be back and I'm going to be better. It is what it is. Y'all got to understand, man, that EJ, he done went through much tougher times than this. All the memes and all the shit y'all talking about on the internet, man, that don't affect a real nigga. Real talk. It's not affecting him like that because he's been through worse. You got to have tough, thick skin to be able to be in this sport and to be able to make it to the level that he's made it at anyway. He got a bag, you know what I'm saying? So while y'all making memes and doing all that ignorant, you know what I'm saying, retarded shit on the internet, he's counting the bag. You feel me? He counting the bag. And like I continue to tell people, ain't now one of us getting a payday from Errol Spence or Terence Crawford. Terence Crawford ain't sending none of y'all niggas no check. You ain't getting no check from Terence Crawford in the mail. Nor is Errol Spence. So as fans, we got the pleasure of sitting back and watching greatness happen. Terence Crawford, he showed out. He showed greatness. Now Errol Spence, now he got to come back and he got to show that he is on Bud Crawford's level. He got to show that, you know, it just wasn't his night. But his next time out, he going to do things differently and he going to make sure it's his night. Am I saying he could beat Bud? I'm not saying that. You know what I'm saying? You definitely got to go with Bud in the rematch because what Bud showed in the first fight. You definitely got to go with Bud in the rematch. But can Errol Spence improve? Is it things that he can do better? Yeah. And is it impossible for him to pull out a W? No, it's not. You know what I'm saying? I've seen rematches where they completely different fight from the first fight. Not all the time. It's rare when you see a fighter lose in that fashion and then come back and win a rematch, but it's happened before. You know what I'm saying? It's happened before and it's gonna happen again. Is it gonna happen in this fight? I don't know. We as fans, we just gotta sit back and we gotta see. But we knew from the jump that it was gonna be a rematch. And the thing that I'm glad to hear is gonna be at 154. Errol Spence got on that scale at 147 pounds. That means he barely made the weight on the dot. And then we heard rumors that Terence Crawford, he didn't even make the weight his first time trying to weigh in, right? He had to come back and then he weighed in at 146.8 the second time. So it ain't easy for now one of these fighters to make the weight. And Terence Crawford said, yeah, I'm down to fight at 154 pounds. I don't see no problem with fighting at 154 because it's difficult for me to make the weight also. And we know, man, Errol Spence, ever since 2018, EJ been saying that it's difficult for him to make 147. We might just see a completely different fighter at 154. You know what I'm saying? We might just see a completely different fighter, but I think that EJ needs to go back to his roots. One thing that he needs to do is he needs to go back and train with Blu-ray Fitness, and I also think that he needs to start training with Jermell Charlo like they used to do back in the day, and he needs to start sparring with Jermell Charlo. I mean, he had one of the best sparring partners on earth. when him and Jamel was getting in that work, EJ was different. You know what I'm saying? EJ was different. Even Jermell Charlo was a lot better. That was when Jermell was knocking out everything. Iron sharpens iron. Get back to the basics. Get back to what made you a great fighter in the first place. That's how I feel about the situation. But y'all let me know how y'all feel about, how EJ is letting everybody know how he doing. He taking this with his chest out and his chin up. Y'all make sure that y'all drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know. Make sure that you hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you're not already subbed. And y'all already know how I do. There you go, talking that boxing again. And I'm gone.